So this is one of the main words. How are we doing? Okay. I want you to think of it's called connection. Okay, I want to describe it. I say connection because we can think that means many things. You want to stay connected to your 10-year-old, 14-year-old, your 16-year-old, your 18-year-old. All right, so what I mean by being connected is that you understand what's happening with them inside here. We can observe our kids' behavior. We see them running around. We can observe them with their friends. We can see them with other people. And then we can try to understand what they're like by looking at them, watching them, right? There's another deeper connection that we need to have with our kids and with each other that's more heart to heart, okay? So you need to know your kids' main 3 or 4 vulnerabilities. The main 3 or 4 things that when they leave your home, that they're struggling with. Or that they're like, oh no, I gotta go do this, or I'm worried about that. And again, it might be a kid, it might be a teacher, it might be a class, it might be how they feel about themselves, it might be friends, it might be a sport, it could be anything. But our kids have strengths, and you could probably identify your kids' strengths, right? Whatever they're good at, that's another role of yours, is to figure out how your kids are made. What's their strengths? What's their talent? What's their passion? And that's what we do with all this stuff. Releasing youth into purpose, helping them find their purpose. Once they know their strength, and you try to guide them. Oh, you might want to play violin? Oh, you're really good at science? Really? Okay, then you try to grow that skill and that passion, and that's probably going to be the thing they're into later, or one of the things. But on the other side, it's their vulnerable areas. That if they're going to get tripped up or have problems, it's going to be in their vulnerable areas. So you need to know, what are they kind of struggling with. The only way you're going to know that is to be more connected to them. The only way you can be more connected to your kids is by listening to them. Why would you want to listen to your kids? Right? One parent said, that's the last thing I want to do is listen to my kid. My kid needs to listen to me. Right? And we often say, my kids don't listen to me. They don't listen enough because I need to repeat it more. So I realized when one of my sons was about 15 and I was getting ready to say the same thing, that I was like, oh my God, how many times have I said this? I asked myself, I can't believe I can say this again. What's the matter with me? I need to stop. So it became more important for me. I changed my parenting. Instead of telling them what to do again, because by the time your kids are like 10 or 11, they really got you all figured out. They could tell someone 3 paragraphs exactly what their mom's like, their dad's like. Because they live with you all this time. What you like to do, what you don't like to do, what your habits are, where your inconsistencies are, where what you say and what you do is different. They know all that stuff. So in a lot of ways, you don't have to keep repeating the same things. So it became more important for me to, I wonder what's going on inside my son. I wonder what he's thinking. When he's out there by himself faced with the situation or something happening. And that became more important for me to try to understand what's going on inside of him than me trying to drill something else in his head again for the 12th time that month, right? So that means you have to change your parenting to asking open-ended questions, okay? So you want to draw, this is good for spouses too, okay? You want to draw the other person out so that they're actually talking. We have to have enough patience to want to listen. But what kid wants to talk to their parents? So what do you think the number one reason is teenagers don't want to talk to their parents or junior kids? What's the number one reason? What do you think? Bad cooks? What?
We don't understand them.
You don't understand them? What else?
Criticize.
Might judge them. What? Tell them what to do. You might get in trouble. That's
Parents
enough.
have no clue.
Those are consequences of how you might react. But the main reason they don't is because we can't handle it. We can't handle the truth. What the hell they're really feeling, what they're really going through, what's really happening, because we'll have like a panic attack on them. We'll be like, Amen. They're gonna say, well, I was thinking of this. You're thinking of what? No, you can't think of that. You can, So you have to not react, which is hard. So if you're going to try to dialogue with your kids, draw your kids into relationships, stay more connected, try to understand their day, their struggles, what they're going through, you're going to have to not react. Okay? When you're with them, emotionally. Later, you go in the other room and scream in the pillow. Okay? I can't believe they said that. All right? So when one of my kids was like, I think in 6th, 7th grade, I was thinking, well, I don't think I have to worry about anything. This kid's doing great. So I decided to ask him, I go, well, let me just ask. You know, so I didn't ask, do you do this? Have you thought of smoking a cigarette? I said, what do you see at school? What's going on with other kids? Now kids, they'll talk about other people. And that's a real non-judgmental way to, you know, get them engaged in a relationship. Instead of, you know, putting them on the hot seat and quizzing them. You know, what do you see, what's going on with other kids, or not even your best friend, just other kids, you know, say, well, this kid over there, you know, so-and-so stealing, you know, from the store, and this one's like smoking cigarettes over there, and these two are kissing over there, and this guy's stealing, copying homework, and then this kid, it's like 10 things are going on in her everyday life she's seeing, and I was like, what? So they're already your kids are faced with many choices of things they could do wrong every day, and choices that they're negotiating with other kids. And the main peer pressure thing with kids is not that kids are trying to pressure them to do something. It's more their friends, who maybe they've grown up with, are starting to do something that's not good, and they feel the pressure of being left out and the decision, should I do that too? Should I try that too? Should I do what they're doing because I'm feeling left out because my friends are doing this thing? So they're faced with a lot of choices and options and difficulties. So to stay connected, you're going to have to not react. And maybe one of you is better than the other one, spouses or parents with different kids. You know, like my son used to talk to me a lot, and my daughter would talk to my wife. And then after a while, they kind of switched. Now my son talks to my wife, my daughter talks to me. So it doesn't matter, as long as we're getting information, we're the spies. And later we can go, really? I go, can you please ask him about this and that? And then I'll go, did you ask him? What did he say? So he said this and that. He said that? Are you kidding? I can't believe it. Can you ask her about this and that? Figure out what's going on in this thing. I go, okay, I'll check it out. Right? So you can share your information, work together as a team, but you know, it's very easy to talk to someone else's kids, right? Like your kids' friends come over, or you see them, and you go, yeah, how's it going? They go, oh, fine, Mrs. So-and-so, how are you? Good. Soccer, hello, good. You talk a little. It's like it's no big deal, right? In the kitchen, hanging out. Then that kid tells your kid that, wow, your mom or dad's really cool. And they're like, who? The person in the kitchen. Right? So it's easy to talk to other kids, right? They kind of talk to you. Why is that? Right? There's not all that tension and emotion in there, right? Like, why didn't you pick your socks up? Kind of feeling. So somehow we have to remove a lot of that emotional tension if you want your kids to be able to dialogue with you. They're not going to, you know, talk to you like you're the best friend, but at least to figure out what's going on in their day. You have to be really patient. And some parents, they go, okay, I'm going to talk to my kid. It's 4 o'clock. I'm going to find out what's going on. So they go, and they set a time, and they start to quiz their kid, and the kid doesn't want to talk. Right? And they're like, oh, he won't talk to me. And then later at night, you know, the kid's going to bed, they're laying in their bed, or this or that, and the kids actually starts talking about their day, whatever. The parents are like, well, I'm busy right now, you know. So you have to look at when they're open, because there may be times your kid actually starts talking, like in the car. Like my son, I realized, some of you have heard this, that, you know, I asked him like, hey, how's things going at school? And he says, oh, the inquiring father would like to know. I was like, what? And I go, well, I was just asking a question. How's it going? He goes, well, you know, you can just leave that chapter out of your book. I go, I'm not writing a book. I'm just asking you a question. He wouldn't talk to me. Right, when he got about 15. So then one day I was out with him, and he was like talking away. Well, I said, oh, I can't believe he's talking about it. Then like a month later, I realized he's talking again. I go, look at that. Then I realized we were eating at a restaurant. I go, then I realized, oh, when he eats, he talks. He still doesn't know to this day. I go, hey, you want to get something to eat? And he's like, sure. Because and then I go, great. And he talks about everything. I think the food's like a truth serum. He's like, he talks about his hopes, his dreams, his worries, his passions, and everything. But he, you know, he comes by, sits on the couch. I go, hey, how's it going? He just looks at me, smiles, doesn't say anything. In certain situations, some kids talk in the car. You know, driving around, and you can learn a lot by your kids, right? You probably know this, carpooling. You hear all the kids talking. You find out, wow, I can't believe what's going on. What's coming up on this weekend or last weekend? So having your kids stay connected to you, being able to hear what's happening in their life, and your kids want to talk to you. You don't believe me probably, but they want to talk to their parents. They really do. And you think you might think you're not significant because your kids are teenagers, and their friends are kind of more important now, so parents feel like, but you're still very important in your life, and they actually want you in their life. They don't want you in their life nagging them. They don't want you saying, I love you in front of their friends. Give me a hug before you leave. They don't want you doing that. Right? But they want you engaged in their life, and they need your leadership, and they need your love, and they need your parenting, and they need your advice if they want to hear it, and they need you to listen. The successful parents that I see, they learn to listen to their kid. Like, well, how you doing? How's it going? How's science? How's the coach thing going? How hard is practice? Just being an ear. And you don't have to go, oh, you know what you should do about that? You don't have to give them solutions. You don't have to tell them what to do. You don't have to give them answers. Just listen. Be patient. And then wait. Like you say, how's it going in soccer? Like, oh, it's all right. It's like, okay, like, what do you mean? The coach wouldn't play me in the game, and this guy is no good that's ahead of me, or whatever, my friend. They go, oh. So you don't have to give them a solution. Just go. You can say, what are you going to do about it? Or what do you think? Or whatever. Just be there with them. Just be together. It's hard for us, right? We're so fast-paced. Talk so fast like me. Caffeine, I didn't drink any, but we live on caffeine as a culture. And the whole culture, we're just going way too fast. Way too fast. And for you, if you want to stay connected to your kid through the years, you're going to have to, me too, we have to slow down and spend some just hanging out time. Maybe it's a common activity that you find to do with your kid. Like another kid of mine, like I have so many, but my son, he used to talk, and then once he went through puberty, he stopped talking. He would sit in his room and play video games, didn't want to talk. Got nowhere. So, hey Jason, how's it going? Fine. Let's see, what's my next question? Hey, how are things going at school? Good. All right, we're moving along here. Let's see, what's my next question going to be? So then I started to, I had to enter his world of his games and cars and stuff he was into, even though I wasn't, just to kind of bond with him. Then we started doing stuff together, and then we could start talking about the science test that's coming in 2 days. That's fun, or different things. And so finding a common activity is another thing. A lot of people want to sit and face each other and talk like this, right? It sounds so abnormal. That's what we try to do sometimes. Okay, we're going to talk. This is it. We're going to sit here. We're going to figure everything out. It's the United Nations. So, you got to be more informal, casual, go for a walk. Daddy goes for a walk with his daughter, and they walk and they talk. She talks and they walk the dog or whatever. But you have to slow down and be more relational in that way. Does that make sense? Okay. So you're kind of just changing some of your parenting to, instead of being on top of your kid, like when they're 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, and you're going to guard everything they do and supervise and be in charge, you're going to start to move a little more parallel, and they're going through these teen years. Doesn't mean you're not the boss or in charge, because you pay for everything, right? But you're tracking through life with them. So like, how's it going with this? How's it going with that? Okay, and helping them learn how to deal with the things they're facing that are difficult. Because look how many difficult things you face every day. How many things are you overwhelmed about or worried about? Right? More than you're not worried about, probably, right? So we can't think that our kids are, they're all happy, whatever. Maybe they are, but the same thing for them. So it's not that everything is anxiety and worry in the world, but the vulnerable areas they have, they need to learn skills to build to deal with that. How are you going to deal with that situation? What could you do there? And if they can learn how to cope with that thing or that challenge or that vulnerability, because whatever it is, it's not going to be resolved in a few months. It's something they're going to have to face. Like, I can't handle when someone's like this with me, or it's really hard when I'm in a situation like this, or this subject is really, it doesn't match with them. So it's going to take time for them to master how to deal with that thing and learn that skill. But your goal is, by the time they leave you, they've had many experiences of tripping and falling and struggling with that area, or those areas, and they've learned, how to get through it, and how to deal with it, how to cope with it. So when they're on their own, they can do that. Okay?